All right,
In here.
97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what it is. We got one of West Coast's finest in the house, taking over the Canadian airways. We got Seo Loc of the 909 Boys in the house. How you doing this evening?
Seo, baby. I'm chilling, man. Doing all right. I'm down.
Hey man, first and foremost, I gotta say, I know I said this off the record, but even though we're live, I still gotta say it again. I grew up on the 909 Boys. I'm a huge fan, so thank you so much for just coming on my radio station and providing me with some of your time tonight.
Oh, no problem, man. Thanks for having me. Like I said, been at it for a minute, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you reaching out to me.
Hey man, anytime, man. Most definitely anytime. But Seal, I gotta ask you, man, like, what made you decide to get into the music industry?
What it was, back, let me see. It was like 92 after I graduated. One of my homies was doing music, you know what I'm saying? And just listening to how he was putting his songs together and hearing people's names that we grew up listening to, and just inspiration right there, you know. And I'm like, well, let me see if I can do this, you know. And then when when I first heard Penthouse Players Click, man, that solidified it right there. So I'm like, yeah, okay, this is what I need to be doing.
And also, you were, as we already know, you were a member of the legendary 909 Boys. I have to ask you, tell us a story behind that group. How did you guys all get connected? Like, what's the story of that iconic formation?
Well, I was with Old Dog and his cousins. We was rapping at first, and I ran into Freeze at a drive-through. You know what I'm saying? And I remember he was doing music in the early '80s as well, as far as like recording from cassette to cassette. You know, we didn't. There was no studios out here. You know what I'm saying? So we had to record the songs the best way we knew how. And I got at E, and I was like, "You still doing music, man? I'm trying to get in this." So he shot me his number, and I just bought a karaoke machine, and we just started making hits like that.
And the one thing I do
Uh,
want to ask, man, like, with that group, like, for you guys did a few albums and then you guys kind of like split. Like, if you want me asking, what made you guys like kind of like go your separate ways?
it was a lot of the manager. He was kind of shady. I didn't know. And people that grew up with the manager and knew his character, they was like, just wait and you'll see the true him come out. And when it did, you know what I'm saying, I peeped it and I'm like, I'm cool with this. I washed my hands and I walked away. And then Mr. Freeze, he was working on his sisters and brothers project, DFW. And then one day I just gave him a call and was like, hey, why don't me and you do an album? And that's when the Double Trouble came. But as far as the 909 Boys thing going, man, I love that because that was like the beginning of everything.
And speaking of the beginning of everything, man, in the year 1997, the 909 Boys released their self-titled record. I have to ask you, tell us a story and inspiration behind that iconic record.
That was the single. Actually, it was This How We Kick It in Far East IE. So we all went to this studio out in Anaheim, I think, Mac Daddy Studio, something like that. And we were just sitting around really, and the songs were just coming to us. And he was like, okay, well, we finna put the single out. All right, what single we gonna do? So we all just sat around listening, to the songs that we already had. And This How We Kick It came out, and then Far East IE, which the homegirl Chris Davis, she was singing on it. But originally, my mom and my sister was singing on it, and then they removed their vocals and put Chris's vocals in it. And what I'm saying, it was more. It sounded better. The reason it sounded better is because they put both my mom and my sister in the booth together to sing, and you can't do that. You got to let one go and then let the other one go. They put them both in front of the mic, and I guess it was clashing or whatever. But we first came up with that in my living room.
That's actually pretty cool, man. Like not a lot of ideas really first come together in a living room, man. So that's actually a pretty amazing story.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, we did a lot of stuff on the karaoke machine. We didn't have no studios. We didn't have no producers. So we was using any instrumentals we could find. And Far East IE was really wrote to a Usher instrumental that I either sped up or slowed down on my karaoke machine to make it fit. And we all just sat in the living room, passing mic to mic to record it. And it was just me and O Dog on the song at first. And then I presented it to YG Serious and MC Freeze to jump on it. So the other two verses that the other verse that I had on it, I didn't put that on the song, but I still have the cassette where that was the blueprint, for Far East IE. I asked my homeboy Reese, I said, give me a title on me and I'll write to it. He said, Living in a 714. So I was like, bet. Went ahead, pinned it down, and I had my mom, my sister, I said, if y'all could sing this, and I gave them the melody. They ran with it. Man, that was a beautiful song. That was the first song that was ever on the radio, Far East IE from the 909.
When you guys got on the radio, like, was it like when you guys actually got on the radio? Were you guys surprised that your music actually got on the FM airwaves?
I was kind of shocked. Yeah, I heard the DJ say, we got local talent right out of Bannon. You know what I'm saying? And I called as many people as I could within the minutes of that song, because that song is only like 3 minutes and 15 seconds or something like that. It's real short. So I was just calling everybody I could and turned on every radio station I had in the house, man. Like, yeah, we on the radio, we made it. You know what I'm saying? We on another platform with it. But it was an amazing feeling to hear our song over the airwaves.
Like with that song, was it only played like that one time, or did they actually keep it in constant rotation for you guys?
No, they played it another time, and then they also played This How We Kick It, but no, it wasn't in heavy rotation or none of that. We didn't have no major backing us, so everything was coming out of pocket.
And also,
all ourselves.
And also last week I shared a link on Facebook and I tagged you in it, which was a 909 Boyz demo from 1996. I have to ask you about that demo, man, because that for a demo that was an amazing track. What was the inspiration behind that demo, and what was it like actually being together just for the first time, recording that demo together, all four of you guys?
We all just gelled together, man, and we had one song that we actually wrote together. All the other songs that we did was just a phone call and the title. Give a concept and how many bars, 16, 24, 20 bars, however it was, on different songs from that demo. I think we had maybe 5 songs on there. And my big homie Biscuit, his name is Norman Turner. He played piano on ESPG and Royal Flush, and he made it to where the transition from one song to the next, you couldn't even tell.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. He also produced a song that's on the Bangtown Project, the last album that I came out with like 4 years ago. No, maybe 3 years ago. The Bangtown Project, but he produced the song Text Buddy. But he was incarcerated, and the music came to me, and then I took it to the studio, and my boy Joe replayed everything that Biscuit already put down. And when Biscuit heard it again, he just thought Joe just recreated it. You know what I'm saying? He didn't even know that. No, my bad. He thought that I just recorded to his track, but he didn't know that Joe replayed everything. And Joe added his own little twist with it, but pretty much the predominant and the basis of that song all came from my homeboy Biscuit. Very talented. He played a right-handed bass upside down because he left-handed.
And also, before we move off the 909 Boyz topic, and I want to let you know you can skip this question if you want to, but last year, the world lost YG. I was wondering if you could tell our listeners a bit more about him, away from the music industry. Like, what was he like as a person? That way, our listeners can remember who he really was.
YG Serious?
Yes.
Very, very talented individual. He could do everything under the sun that you could think of. He won numerous dance contests, freestyle battles. Fortunately, his path stirred him in another direction where he had spent some time behind them walls and he got out. But he wrote like over 100 songs that he had told. And but he was just down to earth individual. You know what I'm saying? He's funny. You know what I'm saying? You're always laughing around him. He's a good dude, I'm saddened that he's gone, you know what I'm saying? I took him to the studio the last time before he passed, and he was just intrigued on how my ability in the studio had grown to where as recording on several tracks and then just putting the in-depth sound on the song. And then Joe played the guitar throughout the whole entirety of the song and didn't loop nothing. He just played it all the way through. And YG was just like, man, he played the guitar throughout the whole song. He was just tripping off that. And that song, the title was called "Thought I Loved You." And he was going through some things with his baby mama, whatever, and other females that he was hollering at, just like everybody. Yeah, but he was a good dude, man. And like I said, I'm sad that he's gone. I miss him. He was fun to be around.
And I do want to say my condolences to you guys, man. It's never easy losing a friend, but I do want to express my condolences.
Thank you.
And also, you guys were signed to Poker Production Entertainment, and one of your label mates, was actually Shaky Shay. I have to ask you, what was it like actually working with that particular individual?
Shaky Shay, oh man, that was MC Freeze's sister. They all we all from Bannon. And they moved away, but to work with her, and I had a couple songs on her album, and her brother Freeze, he was pushing that and trying to help get her project together. And like I said, everything was done just phone call away. Call her up, tell her the title, or she called us up, give us the title, and we just go ahead and stick to it. And then go to the studio, lay it down, and send it back through the emails. A lot of that was going on. And then also she would fly out here to record some songs as well. But her, Eminem, that's the musical maniac. That was her brother, and Frosty T. That's also her brother Terrell. And all three of them rapped, and they all had a project that they was coming out with. And Freeze was behind that too. I kind of threw a break. A break shoe in it, like, hey, why don't me and you work on the album? And then he stopped and jumped on the album with me, and then that's how we did the Double Trouble thing. But working with Shaky Shay, it was always great, very creative.
And her album, DWB, I believe it was released in I think 06 or 07, was an absolute, that's an amazing record. All the tracks were amazing.
Driving While Blowed, yeah, it actually, it never got released. I don't know who leaked it out, but I'm glad that y'all got a chance to hear it.
Because I remember I jammed to that on YouTube a couple years back. I don't know if it's still on YouTube or not, but I remember I came across that when I was listening to your guys' music a couple years back.
Yeah, I seen it on YouTube. She was sitting in, I want to say, in a convertible, and I think it was a still picture, but you can hear the songs. And very delightful to hear Shaky Shay over them tracks, man.
And
she'll be missed as well. She just recently passed.
She did?
Yeah.
I actually did not know. I'm sorry about that, man. I actually had no clue she passed away.
Yeah. It just happened a couple weeks ago,
man. My condolences, man. That
took us all by surprise, Yeah.
Most definitely, rest in peace, Shaky Shay.
Thank you.
In 2004, Double Trouble actually released the album Rated PG. I have to ask you tell us the story behind that amazing record.
Rated PG?
Rated PG.
Oh man, that was, like I said, that was the time when 909 Boyz had everybody split up and went their own way. And like I say, Freeze was working with DFW, and then I got at him and was like, "Well, me and you do an album," and that was the project that produced when that conversation came about. And we just went in the studio and we started knocking down songs left and right, and just really just listening to the beat, and taking our time writing the songs and just trying to put the best that we could put out there. I'm saying at the time, And like you said, 2004, yeah, that's when it got released. And we didn't really push it like we pushed the 909 Boyz because we were also involved in other things, building cars, and then I started another career as far as the hours that I worked. So I was working graveyard, so a lot of that stopped. A lot of promotional shows and everything was kind of on hold. And so the album really didn't get pushed through the streets, but it really got pushed once I put it on online, and people was able to grasp that on the internet from every music platform that you can get music from. On every music site, you can buy and listen to, Double Trouble, Royal Flush from the 909 Boys, the Park album, Bangtown Project. But a lot of people still love to listen to that Double Trouble album. One of my favorite songs on there is Dice Game.
That was a dope one.
Yeah, Dice Game. Because that was my thing. I pull up, I got dice. Even right now, I got dice in the ashtray in my car. But I pull up, wherever I was at, hanging out, and, bro, what they hitting for? Well, you know what I'm saying? I got the ivory, you know what I'm saying? T-Lee, you know what I'm saying?
I have to admit, man, my two favorites are Club Activity and Hood Tales, man. Those are my two absolute favorites off the Double Trouble record.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, Hood Tales. Yeah, my homeboy Crazy Cuz got at me and was like, the police, something was going on, and they started, I think he got in a high-speed chase or something, but yeah, had to let it, I had to put that story out there in that song subliminally. If you had to, to know the conversation, like I said, you know what I'm saying? Everything that we did, it wasn't no make-believe stories or nothing, we put down what we knew, but we didn't really, put anybody's name on blast other than how I did. And I said, Crazy Cuz name is in there. That was my little homie right there. I ain't seen him in a minute, but hopefully he's listening. What's happening, homie?
And also, jumping ahead a little bit, in October of 2017, you actually released a solo record of yours called the Bangtown Project. I have to ask you, is that still available on the internet to purchase? And if so, where can our listeners buy or stream themselves a copy of that particular record?
Oh, they can get that on Tidal. They can get it on Apple Music. They can get it anywhere that you can listen to music and download music. The Bangtown Project is available. As far as the Park album, which I released in 2010, that was my first solo.
Oh yeah, that album, that was actually a phenomenal record, man.
Thank you.
And I have to ask you, do you still have hard copies of those old records, or like I'm pretty sure you're probably sold out by now, eh?
The only hard copies that I have available are the 909 Boyz Royal Flush album and also the Double Trouble Rated PG album. The Park album is sold out as far as hard copies. And Bangtown Project, the company that I went to manufacture the CDs, they went out of business. So I never found another manufacturing place that can do that. But J2B, he gave me a number, so I do have another number. I just have to give them a call and see if they can produce some hard copies.
And also, you work with One Hood Entertainment. Can you tell us a bit more about that company, and how did you actually get connected with them?
One Hood was presented to me through by Havoc from South Central Cartel, and he seen the footwork that I was putting in off the Park album, and he got at me in my inbox on Facebook and was like, "Homie, I like what you're doing. I got this company that I'm thinking about putting together. I want you to get on it." So we exchanged numbers, got to talk about it more in depth, and then we met in person, and we just set everything up. One Hood was supposed to be a pretty big project, but egos get in the way, and then people in their feelings or whatever. So it's like everything else, man. It ain't gonna stick together, But I do appreciate what Havoc did, and he reached out and he brought me aboard on that One Hood. I still got One Hood sweatshirts, T-shirts. Okay. Sorry, Roro. Just press play or something. Yeah, my son is trying to listen to the station on his iPad.
Hey, it's all good, you know what I mean? And speaking of like sweatshirts and whatnot, where can our listeners actually get some of that particular merchandise?
I don't think it's available. I would try to reach out to Havoc to see if he has any available, but all the merchandise really and the promotional things that we had, those as far as discontinued. You can't get them. The name is trademarked, so I can't reproduce them. You know what I'm saying? But home living room.
And also, I saw on your Facebook page that you are actually working on a brand new record called Ragtop Music. If you can you tell us a bit more about that record and what can our listeners expect from it when it does get released to the general public?
Yeah, that one is going to be released pretty soon. Ragtop Music came about, just daily drama, people just feeling down, me in particular, you know what I'm saying? But I got a rag Impala. So once I jump into it, let the top down, turn the music up, everything that you're going through, it pretty much escapes your mind, and you're just going to enjoy this ride. So ragtop music, that's what it is. The music is going to be enjoyable. Wherever you get on the freeway or roadway, wherever you're going to go, you're going to end up like, where am I at? Because that music is going to pull you and take you wherever you're going to be. So if you run out of gas, it ain't my fault that the music is so good. That's driving and driving and driving,
Hey man, you know what? If they run out of gas, you know what I mean? You should put that on the back of the album cover, we are not responsible for being stuck on the side of the road. Hey, you never know, man. It's 2020. You never know. People might hit up your inbox and be like, yo, your music made me drive too far. You owe me gas money. You never know, man. It's 2020, right?
Right. Yeah, that's real.
But I gotta ask you, Loc, what's next for you, man? Is there anything else you want to promote? Anything else that happened to miss during this interview that you still want to let our listeners know about?
Yeah. Me and Freeze, we're gonna start working on another Double Trouble album. My homeboy 16 in Life, we're working on a project together, the Bangtown Business Project, with the little homie Boop that's on there with us on a couple of the songs. We're just gonna try to keep it, putting as much music out there as we can. Let it, let it do what it do, because the music gonna speak for itself. With everybody else that's, I don't know, ever got discouraged, like, nah, I'm tired, I don't want to do it, you know what I'm saying? If it's in you, it's in you. You're just going to keep writing and recording because you love to do it. And if somebody else can relate to it, they're going to feel it. It goes from this person to that person, word of mouth. Next thing you know what I'm saying, your destination, you arrive wherever you're trying to get to, So yeah, we trying to promote that, Bangtown Business. Like I said, we got a few things in the making. And you're gonna hear from Freeze and 16 in Life, you know what I'm saying, later on down the line, later this month, next month, and I'm gonna tune in also to listen to them. But we just trying to put some good music out there, I don't listen to none of this new age rap. I don't do it. What's in my CD player is classic R&B or underground music, or music that's already been out. I just can't grasp onto it. It don't make no sense to me.
I don't blame you, man. Neither can I. You know what I mean? That's why I created this radio station. Just because I want individuals like yourself to still be played on the radio, man. Because this whole 6ix9ine, I don't even really know what it is, but you know what I mean. It's not hip hop, and I can tell you that for a fact. I just find it's a weird guy that looks like he wants to be a human skittle that just decides to yell on the microphone. I don't know, man. I literally, when I try and describe this kid, I don't even know. I get lost for words because it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't recite now one song title from him, as far as, the story that's going on. I follow Vlad a lot on YouTube, so every now and then, and it's another YouTube subscriber channel that I'm to, but they post 6ix9ine is going back to jail, or this is going to be the reason why, or whatever. It's like, I don't care what his reason is, He's doing what he's doing, and the industry loves that. I can't understand why they do, but he's on top.
I'm just gonna say, if it was 20 years ago and he was ratting out gang members, you know what I mean? They'd probably cut out his tongue and then shoot him in the head a couple times.
No, he wouldn't be alive if it was back then. No.
Oh, most definitely not. He wouldn't be breathing. Then there's no way he'd be all up on the internet either.
No, no way, shape, or form. No, not at all. Because we pull up on you, on the internet banging that you're doing or whatever. No fly zone or whatever he was trying to say and promote that, some bullshit. Hey,
let's just sum it down to a close cast.
However it got accepted, to where he was able to do that, I'm pretty sure that was scripted because ain't nobody gonna really put themselves out there like that to get done the way he was trying to. If that was his main intent to get done in.
Oh, I most definitely agree. But Loc,
if you're in the streets, pretty much you're trying to get out of harm's way, because when it comes, it's coming. And then to get away, you better, have an escape route to get out. Because if you don't, you're done.
I actually even heard something on the net not too long ago. I don't know if it's true or not, but I guess they saw supposedly he was lipping someone hard up on the net, and they actually tracked his location, so the government moved him to a new, safe location. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I heard. I don't know if that's true. It's a tabloid, right?
I learned to keep his mouth shut.
That's true. You know what I mean? If you can't keep your mouth shut, don't go on social media.
Yeah, and he likes the attention, and the industry likes the conflict. You know what I'm saying? They like that. What's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think of the word right now. The confusion or whatever. They looking for that. Something that's gonna keep a name in the media.
It's pretty bad when the Billboard doesn't even want him. You know what I mean? They're trying to keep him off the Billboard. I don't blame them.
Yeah, it's just all bad. You don't want to have a bad name for yourself, because then people ain't gonna want to work with you, promoters or whatever. Oh boy, stop.
And also, Loc, this is the time in the interview that I give a chance for the individual that comes on the radio station, just a chance to give shoutouts to whomever they want to give shoutouts to, and also your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you if they're not already doing so.
Oh, okay, yeah, they can follow me on Instagram, Seo Loc, Facebook under Seo Loc. I got a Twitter page, Snapchat. You holler at me, we can work. I want to give a shout out to my boy MC Freeze, O-Dog, 16 to Life. Everybody that I'm working with, Player Ham from the Penthouse Players Click, Tweet Cadillac, what's happening? Young Giants, you know what I'm saying? Titus Notes, Fat Beats for making them hot ass tracks, Jada B, my boy Joe, and everybody else that I worked with. There's a lot of y'all to mention. I love y'all. Thank you for contributing to my project.
I gotta say, Loc, thank you so much again for coming up on 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM. Like I said, I've been a fan for a long time, so it was an absolute honor to welcome you on my station.
Oh, thank you, man. Thanks for having me. Shout out to Outlaw Radio.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you, and have yourself a wonderful night, man, and most definitely stay safe.
Thank you. You too.